Happy December, fearless Foxers. I suppose my first matter of business is apologizing for not posting for a month. The truth of the matter is, I'm in this AP government class right now, and there's so much homework in there that I could just keel over and die. It's so much. I mean, of course I have this whole excuse prepared about, aliens and alternate dimensions and being recruited by the CIA, but if I told you that line, I'd have to kill you. Anyways, moving on to the subject of the day, frogs. My real question for you, fearless foxers, is do you know what a frog is? Well, obviously, when you think of frog, you think of Webster's definition #1, an amphibious tailless mammal developed from a tadpole. Well, obviously, we all know that one, but did you know that this word actually has like 10 different definitions? Definition #2, hoarseness caused by mucus in the throat, even though having a literal frog in your throat would be incredibly uncomfortable. A V-shaped horny pad on the sole of a horse's foot. If you've ever looked at that, it doesn't really look like a frog. It looks like the sole of a horse's foot. #4 is a V-shaped section of track where two sets of rails cross. Apparently, if something looks even vaguely like a V, we're going to call it a frog. The amphibians themselves don't look all that V-shaped to me, but that's okay. Anyways, ornamental braiding on a uniform is #5, and #6 is ornamental fastening of loop and button. To ornament with frogs is #7. The nickname given to underwater swimming men is #8. And #9, by the way, it's not in this dictionary, but is in flower arranging, the little perforated thing you put at the bottom of the vase, is called a frog. #10 is also a racial slur, but that's not very nice. I'm not going to use that in that context here. What this makes me wonder is, why do we have so many different uses for the word frog? I mean, we've got, like, all of these things. We've got, to ornament with frogs. Oh, by the way, #10, also, to hunt frogs. It's a verb. I didn't know frogging was actually an acceptable use of the word, but you can go frogging. It means you're hunting frogs. I'm not sure why you'd want to hunt frogs, but I guess if you were really, really hungry, I suppose you could eat them. Maybe you could catch them and keep them as pets. Maybe you could catch them and stick sticks through them, and then frog your tree with them. You could ornament your tree with frogs. Or maybe frogging is hunting definition #8, nickname given to underwater swimming men. I don't know why you would hunt underwater swimming men. I'm not really even sure what that means. It's so specific, I could just die. Underwater swimming men. What the heck are they talking about? Are they talking about, military personnel? I don't even know. V-shaped things. Frogs apparently look like V's. I don't know. Does this look like a frog to you? I mean, maybe if you kind of did that and gave it legs and eyes. I'm not entirely certain what that is, but that is certainly not a frog. My point being that just because something looks sort of ish like a V doesn't mean we have to call it a frog. The word itself is from Old English froga, meaning a frog. I'm not sure what context that was in because frog has 10 acceptable definitions. But I don't know. I guess frog is just the default word for whatever if it looks vaguely triangular. I mean, are frogs really all that triangular? Hold on. I mean, they don't look that triangular to me. There's another frog. There's Brianna's frogs right there. She's really fantastic at these. But, it's not a frog, by the way. I don't know. It's like we're going to see something, and it's going to be triangular, and we're going to call it a frog, just because it looks vaguely like a frog to us. We don't know why it looks like a frog, but it looks definitely like a frog. It still doesn't make sense, no matter how much I think about it. It's like, oh, that looks pretty hoppy, let's call it a frog. Okay, that was a terrible pun, but if you're going to call something a frog because it's hoppy, why not call it a kangaroo? Or, I don't know, a beer. Or Rabbit. I mean, you don't have to name it frog. Do we just like the word frog because it sounds funny? We're gonna be like, frog. I mean, it's not really even that pretty of a word. F-R-O-G. Frog. Frog. I'm not seeing the appeal of the word. I'm still not. See, now it looks... No, this is a TIE fighter. So it looks more like a frog than my frog does. So that also... Never mind. My terrible drawing skills are immaterial. I need a conclusion for this. Moral of the story, don't think too much about amphibians. It just gets confusing. Goodbye, fearless foxes. I will see you next week. Probably. Hopefully. Depending on the alien situation.